What if it's true?
Do I need to remind you what is out there?
Hi, sisters!
Once upon a time, I had somebody that I cared about. And in this world, that sort of shit's good for one thing. Getting you killed.
The Last of Us. It won Game of the Year in 2013. Eventually, it won Game of the Decade. It's captured audiences' attention for the past 12 years with a couple remasters, DLC, a sequel game, TV show, and even a fucking board game. You know, from its creepy yet enthralling take on the zombie apocalypse to its tender and empathetic character writing, this game is considered one of the greatest games of all time by many people. The question is, does this game still hold up 12 years later? Now, before I answer that question, I want to talk a little bit about the game's development. This game was developed by Naughty Dog, the same people who made Uncharted and fucking Crash Bandicoot. This game was about a 4-year process to make, beginning development in 2009. Shortly after Uncharted 2 came out, the Naughty Dog team split up into two groups, one of them working on The Last of Us while the other worked on Uncharted 3. Now, the developers came up with the idea of an airborne zombie virus from the real world, actually. In nature, you know, that place. Yeah, I know where that place is. I've been there. I know that nature place is. They got this thing. It's called a cordyceps fungi, which pretty much this plant just releases spores into the air, and you breathe it in, and then the fungi starts to control your muscles and even your fucking brain impulses, all just like with the goal of spreading this like fungi further, just like some zombie fungi shit. And that's basically what The Last of Us based their zombie virus on, was just this fungi mutating to affect humans too. And there's even like a journal in game talking about this, which, like, yeah, you know, that's not creepy at all. This is not creepy at all. Now, obviously, aside from being a zombie apocalypse epic where you're trying to save the world, the game's real focus was on the relationship between Joel and Ellie and how that develops throughout the game. I won't give too many spoilers around that in case some of you haven't played it still. Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson's delivery and the overall like vocal performances were on point and really kept me engaged throughout the entire game. I mean, this actually is like some of the cream of the crop voice acting right here. And I also figured I'd just throw this in here, but apparently this game had a multiplayer, which I didn't even notice like any time I loaded up the game, but like it still has a loyal, although I would say pretty small fan base still playing it. Okay, let's just get into the gameplay. This is a third-person shooter, if you couldn't tell from the footage I've been using. You progress through the game by reaching the end of what I'll call like a zone. Like you kill all the enemies in this zone, whether that's actual people or zombies, and then you progress to the next zone. You have some options in combat. You can use guns you've picked up along the way through the story. You can set traps. You can even fist fight fools, you know, fucking bar style. Or you can use melee weapons. You can sneak attack enemies and choke them out, Diddy style. Now, if you can sneak through an entire area or not, I wouldn't know. I never actually did. There are a few times I couldn't get to the next area until I killed all the enemies, but pretty much every zone I got into, I just went fucking guns blazing because I wasn't on that hard of a difficulty. And I know, alright, that's not very gamer of me to play on normal difficulty, but I was mainly just wanting to check out the story, and also blasting through areas was pretty fucking fun, I can't lie. Although there were a few times I actually had to play tactically. Those were the most depressing times of the game for me. There's not too many variants of enemies. The humans pretty much just have different weapons. Some of them have melee weapons, some of them have rifles, some have pistols, shotguns. And as for the zombies, you know, we got the base spore fool. We got the nasty ass clickin' fool, and fucking Clayface from Batman, or, you know, Bloater. And then these creepy ass like stalker zombies that show up later in the game, which honestly scared the shit out of me when I was playing. You play as Joel pretty much the whole story, aside from like one time, and you play as Ellie. Although Ellie helps out too throughout the story. Once she gets a pistol, she'll start, you know, gunning down fools. And she'll also help pick up ammo off the ground and give it to you if you're running low. The gameplay is good, but it also plays similarly to other games in this genre. However, it is worth considering that the game did come out in 2013, and looking at it through that lens, the gameplay is kind of fantastic. But going back and playing it, it's still good and engaging, but once you kind of get used to hitting headshots, it stops becoming super difficult. But that's not to say it stops being fun. It runs smoothly and has a nice flow, like at least in most areas. There's some puzzles in the game too, but I wouldn't say they're very hard. In the off chance you do get stuck, they give you a hint option, so you're not really going to be pumping the brakes too hard at any point throughout the game. However, you do have to like scavenge for ammo and parts for like medkits and shit, so that can kind of take some time. Those would be like the slowest points in the game, which can kind of be nice after you just were like fighting for like half an hour straight. Now you get like a little low point to just chill. So like I'd say I liked the gameplay, but it definitely wasn't what was keeping me up late at night playing the game. No. It was the relationship between Joel and Ellie, and watching it unfold and grow. They nailed this aspect of the game and story so well, and I found myself pretty much, like, after the first few hours of the game, just, like, constantly wondering what was going to happen next between them, and I got really attached to them and their relationship. I can't get into their relationship too hard without spoilers, but just know that it is so well done. I also want to say that this game on PS5 looks fantastic. I was on Xbox, and that's why I was so peak. I was so alpha, you know, I was just the best man I could be. And then when I switched to PlayStation 5, I just started smelling like fucking shit, dude. I just smelled like shit instantly. Like, as soon as I put it in my room, I just started having an outbreak of just stench, of wretched, stinky doo-doo stench. But it was very appealing to look at, and the soundtracks went super hard, and they were kind of creepy as hell too, like in some certain areas with the soundtrack and the zombies. I was kind of shivering in me boots. I was kind of shivering in me boots a little bit, I can't lie. Well, that's about as much as I'd like to get into with this game. Overall, I'm gonna have to give the game a 8.5 out of 10. It was a great game. I highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't played it already. However, does it deserve Game of the Decade? Nah. You already know who that belongs to. Dishonored 2, baby. Greatest game of all fucking time, baby. Dishonored 2, motherfucker. You know it's the GOAT. Stop lying to yourself. Jesus doesn't like liars. Truly just a masterpiece. How could anyone think differently? It's fucking Dishonored 2. Dishonored 2, baby. You know it's the greatest game that has ever come out. There's nothing that's even gonna come close to it for the next 500 years. Maybe minimum 500 years. This was the game of the millennia, dude. Oh my god, it's so... Hope you guys liked that video, and if you did, please let me know in the comments. I haven't uploaded in like over a month. I was uploading pretty consistently there for a bit, but I just fell off. You know, I'm just kind of going through a slump in my life right now. I just got out of a relationship that was a few years long. My first relationship too, so to say that didn't fuck me up, well, I'd be lying. It really fucked me up. But, you know, I still gotta keep doing the things I enjoy doing, and I really enjoy making YouTube videos, and some of you guys seem to enjoy watching them too, so thank you for that. At the end of every video, I always say, hopefully I'll upload it in not too long, but at this point, I'm just not even gonna say shit like that. We'll see how long it takes for me to upload the next video. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.